let me turn my camera on.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Fourth and Goal Sports Show. I'm your host, Tyrus Filson. Tonight, we're talking about the NFL Conference Championship games. We're going to be talking about the results of those games, big time matchups between the Commanders and the Eagles and the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. Not the results that I wanted for my Washington Commanders. Very, very tough loss. Now I did go 1-1, so I mean I predicted the Chiefs would win, but yeah, it's been a tough Sunday to say the least. But how y'all feeling? I got my man Julian back on the live stream. Kalani back on the live stream, regular guest, and we gonna chop it up tonight. How y'all feeling, man?
Oh man, this it's not a good feeling for me or Julian or you, Tyrus.
Yeah, man.
I think if I'm the Commanders, I'm not too discouraged. I mean, look how far you guys came in a season where you guys weren't even supposed to even go that far to begin with. I mean, you got a great quarterback. That's your franchise quarterback for the next 10 plus years. I mean, you put a good team around him, a good running back behind him, a better secondary. He's winning a Super Bowl. I saw it today. You can't really make him make plays. I mean, you can't really do too much against that Eagles defense when I mean it's hard. It's really hard against a really good team. I think they're what number one in the league in defense. I think
Yep.
number one O line in the league. I mean,
Yep.
that's a tall task.
Number
That's a
one
really tall
running back
task. And
too.
what are you gonna do? They went into Tampa. They beat Tampa, who's a really good team with a pretty good quarterback. They went into Detroit. They beat the brakes off Detroit, who's the number one seed in the NFL, not just the NFC, the NFL. Then you ask them to go into Philly and beat the two seed with an MVP candidate and an Offensive Player of the Year candidate. With Nick Sirianni coaching that well, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Man, I don't. That's a tough team to beat as a rookie. With that team who clearly just wasn't as good as the Eagles. Watching that game, no shade to Commanders at all, but the Eagles were just the better team. There's really nothing to say. They were just the better team. I think this season or in the offseason they need to make a lot of adjustments, mainly in their secondary. But the Commanders aren't going anywhere. They'll be back. I don't know if they'll necessarily beat the Eagles or the Lions or whatever the case may be, but they'll be back. They're contenders in the NFC, and they shouldn't be taken as a joke.
It man, I just gotta laugh at how disappointing this moment is. I just gotta laugh to not care so much, not get too down because like I hear everything you're saying.
Yeah.
I hear the way that you're like, okay, we weren't even supposed to be here. I hear everybody saying that. I see the comments. I see everybody saying like, you're not even supposed to be here. Just be happy with the moment. And I am happy that we're even here. I'm happy, but it's not. Maybe it's not the way. Maybe it's not the fact that we lost. It's the way we lost that pissed me off because I just feel like, okay, yeah, the Eagles are more talented. Okay, yeah, they got stars here, there, all that, cool. But discipline, really has
Rep
nothing.
it at all.
You said what?
I said rep it hard or don't rep it at all. Rep it
Yeah,
at
I
all.
respect it,
I'm
man.
always rep 17, bro.
Is he?
I'm always
Is he
rep
still gonna?
17.
Is he still winning MVP? He's still winning MVP?
I don't see why he shouldn't win MVP.
Right, right. Got you. Yeah, but no, it's just this loss for Washington. Before we get to the Bills, I mean, like, this is just. I mean, I get it. We got our QB, all that. It's nah, man. This loss is just embarrassing. It's disgraceful. It's abysmal, disgusting, and it pissed me off because in a game like this, for us, this is a big moment. For the Eagles, they've been there, done that. They've been there, done that. And I know the pressure's on the Eagles to win the game, but the pressure's on us too. This is the biggest game for Washington since 1991. In over 30 years, this game was the biggest one. And you go out there and only score 23 points and give up 55 points in a conference championship game. I don't know what was said before the game. I don't know what they did throughout the week, but their unpreparedness, it's disgraceful. It's disgraceful to the fan base. And I feel like the fans deserve better. That's how I feel. You want to talk about the whole season? That's a whole nother discussion. This game, when it mattered most, those guys didn't come to play. They didn't. They didn't. And they proved to be unserious. They got absolutely embarrassed. Saquon Barkley did whatever he wanted. Jalen Hurts, who y'all always say he's just a game manager, he does absolutely nothing. Shoot, even I've said it. Even I've said he doesn't do too much in certain games. He killed us today. He was the best quarterback on the field. I love Jaden. Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback on the field. and when Jaden Daniels is not the number 1 or number 2 best player on the field, we're going to lose the game.
I think that is the absolute problem. If my quarterback has to be the best player and has to be a Superman for us to win a game, that is a personnel and a talent problem. Like I get it. I get the frustration. I'm frustrated. Not as much as I probably should be. I don't really care that much. But like I will have to just give Philly 100% of the credit. I can't take nothing away from them. They got the best roster in football. The only person I can give him credit to is I know who. I'm not giving him credit. He proved me wrong. I'm sorry. Prove me wrong. Beat Mahomes. I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep moving the goalposts till he does something special.
All it's asked to beat Mahomes, man.
Yeah, go do that. That's when I would say you special when you lead. But like they got the best team. They got the best offensive line. They got the best running back. They're just a more talented roster. They have the best front office in football. I don't know how Howie Roseman does it every single year, finds a stud in the late rounds. I'm hoping AP does that. I can't take nothing away from them. As much as I want to take something away from Hurts, Hurts killed this as much as he can, even though I kind of blame the defense. That man had 30 seconds to throw the ball. He can call his girlfriend. He can write a book. He can go to Cancun if he wanted to and come back. The defensive line had no type of pressure. I think that is like our number one, regardless of what the fans may want to say, it's receivers. I think our number one need is honestly pressure. That man had so much time in the pocket to throw the ball. Your cornerbacks can't cover for 5 minutes. Even though I am like mad at itself, but I have faith in the front office to build a team. I have faith in Jaden. I have faith in Dan Quinn. I have faith in everybody still in that locker room. Certain players I want off my team. Benjamin St. Juice, B-Rob, one of them Bama boys can go too. But I still have faith in the organization to do what they do. They haven't at this point done anything to me to prove that they are not capable. They've gotten us this far. Okay, let's get some more pieces and let's do what we have to do. It was definitely disgraceful to see the Eagles put up 55 in Philly. But nothing, I think, as a Commanders fan, should have been a shock to us, particularly on the defensive side. We knew that we couldn't stop the run. Also, we've never been able to stop the run. Like this weird, we can't stop the run. No, we could never stop the run. Even when 4 or 5 years ago, we still couldn't stop the run. I remember arguing with my dad about team needs, and he said, "Yeah, we need a linebacker." When we had that all first round defensive line, we've never been able to really stop the run. It just has gotten worse. That was completely embarrassing. I hope that the teams sit in their feelings and feel this moment and don't ever want to feel this again, and actually goes back next year and don't feel this shit again, because it does not feel great. But at the end of the day, I'm a ride for my team. As you see, I'm still wearing Redskin jerseys and Redskin stuff and Commander stuff. I'm gonna rep it hard. I'm gonna keep popping my shit. I don't care. I'm gonna keep talking shit. My team did the absolute, exceeded every expectations. My quarterback is still better than y'all's, regardless of what you want to say. But yeah, I can't give it nothing else to Philly. But go ahead. Good luck though. Hope y'all the best. When Mahomes put his foot up your ass again.
All right, to touch one of Julian's points, great statements by the way, great points, great facts. So I agree with almost everything you said. Um, to your point of if your quarterback has to be the best player on the field and put the cape on, that Jay Nance point. To that point, that's why Josh Allen's my MVP. I mean, we've seen Lamar have to do that a bunch of times. Yes, he has have to put that cape on and win games, but it's a lot easier when you have a lot of Pro Bowlers and all pros on your team, and we have Derrick Henry running the football like that. It's hard to we can all acknowledge we've seen Josh Allen do that a bunch of times, but I don't want to get into the MVP talk right now. I just wanted to touch on that point that you made as to why I believe Josh Allen should be the MVP in that case. But oh man, the Bills. I don't, I don't really know what to say anymore. To be honest, I feel like we played a relatively good game. We competed with them. Anytime the Bills are going to play the Chiefs in the playoffs, you know it's going to go down to the last second or last play of the game. To be honest, it happens every year for the most part. So I don't know what to say, man. I generally don't. Watching that game, so I watched it from start to finish, of course. I think watching it, the reason why I became more and more frustrated is for a lot of things. I'm not one of. I hope want you guys to know I'm not one of those guys that just jump on the bandwagon of oh the refs cheated, the refs did this. I don't do that. If we got outplayed, I'll tell you we simply got outplayed. I think all of us, me, you, Julian, well me, Tyrus, Julian, of course, I think all of us we may joke around a lot in terms of like off camera with the games and stuff like that, but in terms of covering the game when we're live and things like that, we tell the real and we tell you know what I'm saying. We talk reality. We're not just gonna be biased and say whatever the case may be, like how these trolls on Instagram or social media are. But I can confidently say the refs were a big part as to why we lost that game. I don't I don't understand how Xavier Worthy for that one play. He caught the ball.
You talking about the pick?
Kovic, yeah, I'm talking about the pick, the interception. They were both holding on to the ball. I'm not gonna lie. It's a 50-50 ball, 9 times out of 10. They're probably gonna give it to the offensive player. I'm not necessarily mad at that. I wasn't necessarily mad at that. That was a defender and a offensive player fighting for the ball. That it is what it is. That was great defense, but it was also a great catch. But to say that that was a complete pass after watching the replay review and realizing that he didn't give him full possession and the ball hit the ground first and you still gave it the ball to the Chiefs, while that resulted in a touchdown on I think on the next play. That same drive resulted in a touchdown, 7 points. It's beyond mind boggling because it's just like these little things come up and bite you. Now I will say the 2 point conversions, those misses, it came back to bite us. I knew that was gonna happen. I had a feeling you can't miss points like that in a playoff game, especially against the Chiefs, and expect to still win. It's really hard to at that point. So that Xavier Worthy was one. That play was one. That fourth down play by Josh Allen. I watched that play 1,000 plus times after the loss. You can't possibly sit up here and tell me that he didn't convert that. They showed the sky camera angle. He converted that play. You have the analyst on Twitter and on Instagram saying that's pretty. I mean, not obvious. It wasn't necessarily obvious. You have to watch the replay to kind of see it. But the point was they went to the review booth to review it, and they still gave us to the Chiefs. And guess what? We didn't get that fourth down conversion overturned. And guess what happened then that same drive or the next drive? The Chiefs resulted in 7 more points. You see why I say the same. I say the things that I say. It's not like the Chiefs necessarily outplayed the Bills. They had moments where they did outplay them in certain moments of the game, just like how the Bills had certain moments where they outplayed the Chiefs in certain moments of the game. It's back and forth. Two great teams, two contenders. But I feel like the refs make it harder, or the Bills are have a taller task when they have to beat the Chiefs, and they also have to beat the refs in the sense where it's like I've seen Mahomes or the Chiefs get blatant or weird penalties, but with us, you got random holding calls or just calls that aren't really meant to necessarily be called, if that makes sense. I just think that this one's really tough. Kincaid, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna sit up here and hate on Kincaid. And I see people comparing it to what Mark Andrews did. It's not at all the same. It's
Not
two
at all.
different plays.
Yeah.
One was kind. It wasn't a hail mary, but one was a long shot. At the end of the day, I don't know how Josh Allen even got that off. That was great. Him even getting that off. You're getting blitzed by a top defense in the league. and you still find a way to get the ball into
Speak,
your receiver's hands.
speaking of that play,
Yeah,
um, not to cut you off. Speaking of
yeah, no
that
problem.
play, because I just wanted to get it while it's on my mind. Um, speaking of that play, it's 4th and long, right? And I posted this on 4th and goal. I saw you already saw it, you liked it. Yo, fourth and long, and you run empty set formation, right? Pre-snap. I'm watching that play, and I'm like, all right, bro, this
I
ain't
seen
gonna
the
go
same
well.
thing. I was,
You
you know, what's funny, Tyrus? I was wondering. It's funny that when you tweeted it out or whatever you put the caption, you know that on Instagram. I liked it because I'm literally seeing it play out before it happened. In my head, I'm like, oh my god, we need to call it time. We need to call it time. I can see what Spagnuolo is doing. Everybody knows Spagnuolo. He's one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. He is. It's the truth. He has the
He
team
gonna blitz
defense
you
like that for a reason.
on
I don't
passing down.
understand how McDermott or even
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know how they didn't see that coming. Me and you saw it coming. Julian saw it coming. I'm literally before it happens. I'm screaming at the TV. I'm like, call a timeout, because at the end of the day, I didn't see no audible or nothing, which means Josh Allen's not expecting it. I'm literally looking at their defense. I'm like, oh my god, I know exactly what they're about to do. But so as soon as he snaps the ball, that's it. You got like 5 defenders running at him, and at that point, you're not even giving him time to even make a play. At that point, it's a 4th and 5. It's not a 3rd and 5 or a 3rd and long. You have to get rid of the ball to keep your season alive. So at that
Everybody in
point,
that stadium knew that it's gonna be a blitz. Even if they didn't show it at first, we knew it's gonna be a blitz. I mean,
my thing is though, blitzing Josh Allen, it works and it doesn't work. At the end of the day, if you blitz him, you better get him to the ground, because if not, if you miss that blitz, he's getting that first down, he's getting a touchdown. It's one or the other. They did a great job blitzing him. They did. But at the end of the day, I knew exactly what was. I'm literally
Did he?
oh, you're breaking up a bit. I think we lost
I'm.
you.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm my bad, guys. I'm yelling at my screen. I'm looking at it. I'm confused because it's like I think we have 3 timeouts at that point. I think we do. So call it. I know we don't want to call the timeout because if they get the ball, we're trying to get them to trying to save conserve the timeouts basically. But this is do or die at this point. It's 4th and 5. We're trying to win the game. We're not trying to manage the game. We're trying to win it. I'm tired of managing the Chiefs. I'm tired of keeping it close just trying to find ways to win in the end. It's getting annoying. It's actually really upsetting. If you look at the post game interview, Josh Allen was clearly upset. I mean, it's just like I don't really know what you want him to do, to be honest. I mean, he played great. Mahomes, I'm not about to sit up here and hate on Mahomes. Mahomes played good too. So we knew it was going to be a shootout. But the thing that I don't like is I see people all over social media. Josh Allen's just not that guy. He's just not that guy. It's upsetting because when I see him go against Patrick Mahomes, I see him outplay Mahomes for the most part. I genuinely see that. I think we all can see that. Tonight, that's one thing. I think it might have been equal. They both played really great. I just
Hot. Before I forget this thought, hot
yeah.
take. I think Josh Allen is more talented from a talent perspective than Mahomes. Josh Allen is 6'5", 250,
Yeah.
has probably the best arm in football and can run.
Yeah.
He is
I
more
mean,
talented than
that
Mahomes. Mahomes gets it done, but as far as a talent perspective, he is
Well,
probably the
that's very
closest
true.
we've seen since Cam Newton.
but that's a good point. No, that's a really good point, and I agree
They're
with
probably
you.
gonna hate me. They're probably gonna hate me. I'm sorry. I love Cameron Jarrell Newton because one thing we don't do is disrespect Cameron Jarrell Newton in my presence. Y'all think I'm a Joe
His
Burrow
takes are
because
bad,
you
but
ain't
he
never
was a, he
seen
was a
Cam
good football
Newton
player.
plays.
Yeah.
But he's the closest we've seen, and I would slightly give Josh Allen the edge.
Yeah, I would give Josh Allen the edge. Cam Newton's MVP season was amazing.
Slightly.
Obviously, that was a great
Yes.
MVP year, and he was a good quarterback, of course. But I just think Allen gets it done. Mahomes gets it done. Mahomes' team and Mahomes' defense gets it done. Allen's
Allen
team,
probably could have got this game done, and like you said, Mahomes' team in this particular game gets it done. There's been games where Mahomes can get it done, but I'd say recently, he's kind of not been not asked to do that or hasn't done it, but he will have to do it eventually. And we'll save the Super Bowl talk, but I just think that next game there's going to be 2 quarterbacks that are going to be challenged to make that play in the big moment. I'd think Mahomes would make that play over that other guy, but this game, like the Bills coaching staff put Josh Allen in difficult situations.
They did. They did.
I don't understand why Joe Brady is even up for assistant coach or what. Well, he's up for an award for one of the assistant coaches of the year. I think Cliff Kingsbury should be in that spot rather than Joe Brady. I really do. Cliff Kingsbury should be in that spot rather than Joe Brady. Joe Brady, he's coaching one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Joe Brady is coaching Josh Allen. Josh Allen, I hope, and I think so, will be an all-time great one day, right? And, you know, he hasn't got it done yet in the big game, but he's going. I feel like he will eventually. I really hope he can get a ring in his career, but it's going to be hard because right now, what we're witnessing right now is the Mahomes era. That's what they said live when I was watching it. I think you probably heard it too. This is the Mahomes era. This is like the Chiefs era, and somebody got to step up and just stop them. Somebody has to. And Josh Allen played well enough to win this football game. And on that last play, I just knew. I was just like, no, this isn't setting your quarterback up for success. It set him up for failure. Empty set was like a terrible idea. There should have been at least one person back there and possibly two. But to have nobody back there, it just and if you're gonna do empty set on fourth down, you should already have a pre-snap read. Because it takes time to read the defense.
Takes time to read the defense. Yep.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I probably missed the third quarter. I was there for the first, second, and fourth. I don't know what the hell happened. I went upstairs. I feel that I think something I said before. I didn't feel that Buffalo had the talent on the outside. I feel like Buffalo's there. Like it is. I feel like they're the closest team to beat a Mahomes in the AFC. I don't feel like no other team is close enough. I feel like Josh Allen has the talent to do it. I feel like he has the balls to beat Mahomes. To me, he's the only quarterback. I'm sorry, Joe Burrow glaze, but he's the only one with the balls to actually, he's not afraid to play him. Like he doesn't not step up to the challenge when he plays a Mahomes. Like outside of them two, there's nobody in the AFC, sorry Baltimore Ravens fans, that's gonna do it. He's the only one that actually steps up to the challenge and does it. I've been hard on Josh Allen for years. Josh Allen has proved me wrong for the last 2 years. I'm happily to eat my words about Josh Allen. I'm absolutely proud of him. But like, particularly for you as a Buffalo Bills fan, where do you think you go? Like, where is it? We can say Mahomes is great, but where do you think it goes for you? Like, do you think it's coaching? Do you think it's mixing up the roster? Where do you think? What do you think it would take to beat them? Because I believe you have the guy that has the talent to do it. I say he is more talented. I'm gonna say he's the most talented quarterback in the league. Probably maybe outside of Lamar because of the speed. But like talent-wise, as a prospect, I don't think you take nobody over Allen. Where do you think they go from here? Like, what is the thing that pushes them over the top? I give my interjections later.
To be honest, I was asking myself that, I was trying to figure myself that after this loss, because I ain't gonna lie, this one hurts bad. This one hurts more than last year. I don't know why. I think it's because I genuinely felt like we could win the whole thing. I think when you look at the Bills team, it's funny because this year I'm not gonna put it on Sean McDermott. I'm not. I don't think this game was necessarily his fault. I do believe the coaching staff as a whole had moments in the game, like that last 4th and 5 play, where you got to be able to read that defense. I saw it coming from a mile away. I knew what they were doing. Everybody knows what he was going to do. I think you have to call that time to make that play or try to make that adjustment. But in terms of with the team, you keep the quarterback. Obviously, he's a franchise player. You keep James Cook. I say we definitely get Matt Collins back. Bring Amari Cooper back. Khalil Shakir, keep him.
No Shoe Hollins?
Huh?
No Shoe Hollins?
No. No. Keep Matt Collins. Other than his antics, I mean, he played great today.
He did. That play
came up big when we needed him.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And even throughout the season, when I'm like I said, I've never missed a Bills game. I watch every Bills game. A lot of times throughout the season, when his number was called, he stepped up to the plate. I mean, he led the Bills in touchdowns for receivers. So, I mean, I just think I honestly don't really know. I think our secondary needs to get a little better because Damar Hamlin, I don't know what he had going on today. Kyrie Elam, well, as soon as he got checked in the game and Christian Benford went down, I literally looked at my brother and said, "This game is going to be tough." Because Kyrie Elam, man, I don't know. He was a first round pick. I don't know what happened to him. He was the Chiefs were picking on him as soon as he stepped foot in the game. They were literally picking on him. So I don't. If I had to, I think our corners. We need better corners. I think we need to step up our safety game just a little bit. And I think our everybody eats offense is fine. I think you keep the offense as it is. Um, I
You
don't.
think you
I
think McDermott? Do you think at this point the McDermott evaluation? I mean, we heard it all before, but at this point, you really gotta like think about it. I mean, you have to think about it, but at the same time, it's like who are you really gonna get that's better at this point?
that's
That's my
that's
point.
that's kind of my thing, Tyrus, because it's just like McDermott. He's been there for years. He knows the system. The guys love him, especially Josh Allen. He always raves about how good a coach McDermott is. And if we're being realistic, in the past, McDermott has had a bunch of questionable decisions, especially in late games against the Chiefs. But this year, I can't necessarily say he did anything wrong. I mean, that last play, he should have that entire Bill staff should have tried to make an adjustment because we saw it coming from a mile away. They had 3 timeouts left. Call that timeout and make that adjustment, and we're possibly talking about something different. But I just think McDermott isn't necessarily the scapegoat this time around. I just don't see it. Watching every Bills game, he played, not played, he coached really well throughout this year. He really did. He's not a coach of the year or anything like that, but he's one of the like known and better coaches or respected coaches in the league. So I would just say our secondary needs to be cleaned up a little bit and try to draft some defenders, some studs. But I don't know, man. I see Marlon Humphrey. He's trying to troll the Bills, buddy.
What
Hey,
he
You
hold
ain't
say?
on your
on.
job. You
Hold on,
ain't on
hold
your
on,
job
hold on,
last
hold on.
week.
I got smoke for this nigga Marvin Humphreys because this nigga and he ain't nigga for real. He talked about the Commanders. He said something about us like something goofy. He's sitting
Yeah,
on the couch in Cancun. I told him to
Marlon
go
Humphrey
make
always
drink
saying
girls.
something like Marlon Humphrey. This is why like certain players for me like I give their respect as a all like they're great players, but some
yeah,
players are just hard to root for, and that's
it is.
why
Yeah, they are.
even
Yeah,
in this game. I was like, how are there people rooting against Washington? I just can't fathom my
I want
mind
to Washington to
around
win.
that.
He
How can
turds.
you possibly
He
root against
turds.
Washington in this football game today?
He
If you're rooting for
turds.
Philly, you need to take a self-evaluation of yourself
Haters.
and really understand that if you're not, I'm saying like if you're not a Philly fan, if you're not an Eagles fan, like aside from one reason, Saquon Barkley. Other than that, I don't understand how you could root for the Eagles.
I'm rooting for the
I
Eagles
hate
in the
that
Super
team.
Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm not. I
Haters.
can't watch. I can't watch Patrick Mahomes. But I'm rooting. I'm letting you know. I'm letting fourth and go know right now. I will be rooting for the Eagles too in the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm rooting for the Chiefs.
I'm
I
sorry.
can't lie.
I can't sit up here and watch Mahomes. I just can't, especially because it's are you serious? Like they just win off of blatant BS. It's annoying to watch. I like Saquon. He's my favorite running back besides James Cook, obviously. So I want him to get that ring. Jalen Hurts doesn't necessarily. I'm not kind of a Julian. I don't really. I mean, he played good today, but yeah, that's a different kind of Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hurts. But I want to see Saquon win that ring, man. He deserves it, man. He really
To
does.
to to answer my own question, what does Buffalo need? Honestly, I can't know. I don't know.
I'm
I,
not gonna lie, Julian. It's one of those situations where you really just don't. You just have to. It's just Mahomes. You have to
I,
be
I,
Mahomes.
I,
No, there are some needs though. There are, I mean,
I will
there are
say
some
there are
needs.
some needs, but I feel like first you need to get the number one seed. You need to make
Yeah,
them
yeah.
have
That
to come to Buffalo and beat them. That's why I got so critical of Lamar and got so angry at Lamar. You're at the bank. Nobody's been able to do it. Like to be able to take the number one seed from Mahomes and you play like shit. I'm sorry, Ravens fans, but he played like shit. He didn't play great. I don't care about the Zay Flowers drop. He played like shit last year. Your defense gave you chances and your offense couldn't score. Like you play like shit. I'm sorry. I feel like that's number one. You have to get the number one seed. You have to like max out. But I think I've said it since I've gotten here. I don't feel like Buffalo. I don't feel like that everybody eats offense is enough. I feel like that puts too much pressure on Allen. Looking at as a Commanders fan, we kind of have the same thing. I won't say everybody eats, but I feel like they're gonna try to develop that type of offense. Well, we got Jaden. We gonna put some talent around us.
Maybe the Bills need, like, I know the whole everybody eats thing is serviceable, but I would argue and beg to differ that there's much better that this Bills offense can be with Allen, because okay, you made the move for Cooper, but let's be real. At this point in Cooper's career, I feel like the Bills can do better at wide receiver one. How about you go get T. Higgins? How about you go get a big time player at wide receiver one, right? And still let it be everybody eats. But in a game like that, in a game like this, where let's say you had a T. Higgins as your wide receiver one, everybody's going to be zeroed in on that guy. And I promise you, Amari Cooper's going to get open. Shakir, he's proven that he can step up. So, and Curtis Samuel, I was rooting for my guy Curtis, but like you got guys. It's the problem is you have guys, but you don't have the guy. And I feel like once you get Josh Allen, the guy, he about to.
That's why I get so mad with Jalen Hurts having. I get so mad at Jalen Hurts having Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. It's just like, are you serious?
You get my point. You get my point. You get my point.
It's not just Jalen Hurts though.
It's not just Jalen Hurts. It's not just Jalen Hurts.
What I was just referring to with Allen when I'm saying like once he gets the guy, he's gonna tear up. That's not just a diss at Hurts, or it wasn't even meant to diss Hurts. It was actually to call out your boy Joe Burrow, because Joe Burrow has an all-time great receiver core.
Yeah, but his defense, man. His defense, man.
And I know his defense. How about Washington's defense? Because I promise you that the Bengals, if they were in our position today, I know they wouldn't be in the NFC Championship, but their defense ain't giving up 55 in the most important game.
Defense wins championships, man.
In 30 years.
I think the formula to beat of Mahomes, I feel like you have the tight ends. You have somebody they can always go to. But I do feel like it is the outside threats. I definitely think the Buffalo needs a receiver one. This may be a hot take. I know y'all may not like it. It had like a hothead receiver before, but I feel like possibly a Tyreek Hill can go well in that offense. It gives him a number one. It gives him a guy he can always go to, regardless of if he's going to stretch the field. He's going to allow your tight ends to eat. Just look at what Patrick Mahomes did with him. That offense was damn near invincible. Like, there was nothing that was stopping him. I feel like that's kind of how you have to beat Mahomes. You have the guy that I believe that has the talent to beat Mahomes, that has the balls to not drop the ball necessarily to beat Mahomes, but like I feel like you have to get him a guy. Like it's talent on the outside. The defense, the secondary needs some work, but I feel like that is the thing. Get some talent, get some more. Like y'all there. Like I know y'all don't want to hear that. You have always been there, but that's my suggestion is a T. Higgins. Possibly, I don't know which our cap space is, and definitely a Tyreek Hill that gets you a number one. You have two, to me, solid enough tight ends that you can just do what you got to do. Tyreek is going to take the top off the defense every single time.
Yeah, you get Tyreek on the Bills, man. I'm telling you, Josh Allen.
Tyreek on the Bills, man. They don't want that to happen. They do not want that to happen.
That is going to Super Bowl. I don't think they have an answer to that, because the way you play Tyreek, it's like your whole defense is game planning on where 10 is at. Like, it allows your tight ends to be so. You have the tight ends to do it. You have the quarterback to do it. It's just that is lethal. I don't know what the issue is. I don't know how y'all can make that happen.
That dude Tyreek is so fast.
Front office need to make that happen.
Can Josh Allen show Tyreek Hill the methods on how to play in the cold? Because I don't know what it is, but that Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, they cannot play in the
I
cold.
don't think it's Tyreek Hill that can't play in the cold. I think the Dolphins as a whole just can't play in the cold.
I think the Dolphins are a soft football team. They can
Tyreek
play
can play in the cold. I mean, he did it in KC.
I mean,
but
he did it in Kansas City, so
yeah, but he did it in KC. But that last game, it's something about that game, that last Miami playoff game against KC in the playoffs. Man, Trent McDuffie dominated Tyreek.
I mean, Tyreek scored that game. He did. He still scored that game. It's just you're not winning with Tua as your quarterback. No disrespect. I mean, I'm sorry. It's nothing to really say.
I don't
Tua
think
is
he's
your
going with
quarterback.
Mike McDaniels.
I'm glad you said that, bro.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and say it, because there's certain quarterbacks in the NFL where it's like they can only take you so far. As a Vikings fan, like I don't know if there's any Vikings fans watching, but did you really think that Sam Darnold was going to take you
Yeah.
so far? Like,
I was telling Vikings fans all year, I'm happy for you guys. You guys are gonna make the playoffs, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the final player of like the final few drives. At the end of the day, there's only about 5 quarterbacks or 6. It's about 6 quarterbacks that I would confidently trust to win a championship game or to go out on a last drive and absolutely dominate. Lamar,
6. You can
Lamar,
say 6.
okay. Number 1, well, out of order, obviously. I'm just saying them. Josh is 1. It's out of order again, by the way. Josh is 1. Patrick Mahomes, obviously. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, and Jaden Daniels.
Yes,
Those are the only 6 I can confidently say. And Matthew Stafford, I'm only throwing on that list because he's a veteran and he gets it done at the end of the day. He doesn't have the household name, but he gets it done. He gets it done, and he has that ring. So those 6 are the only ones who can give you a chance. But even if you take out Matthew Stafford and you throw in the Elite 4 plus Jaden Daniels,
that's a solid team.
Those 5 at the end of the day, those 5 they're always going to give you a chance at the end of the day. Jaden Daniels gave him a chance. It's just the Eagles are just a better team.
The Rams are going to be nice next year. I feel it like that.
You said who, the Rams?
Yeah, the way that defensive line is. Yeah. You got McVay. I think he's the best offensive mind in the game. Outside, maybe.
Sorry. I can see them being nice. I'm not. I mean, obviously, the next season is way down the line. So I
100%. But like, just seeing the nucleus of that team and how young that defensive core is, like that, I can see them doing something.
I don't see how the Rams can't be good, if that makes sense. Kind of agreeing with Julian.
They damn near beat Philly.
I'm not arguing.
I'm not gonna lie. They were on that final drive to beat Philly. If Matthew Stafford throws a better ball that last play, we might be talking about something else right now.
I'm not gonna lie. After today,
yeah. I don't necessarily know about that, but Washington just got dominated. 55 points. That's unacceptable. That's the
fearful thing for me.
Like, thank you, bro. Thank you. It's.
I was. If makes any Commanders fans feel better, I was definitely rooting for you guys. I mean, I was rooting for Saquon to play good, but I was rooting for you guys to win. I'll put it that way. Man, you guys were dominated from start to finish. I don't really know what to really say, to be honest. I just think. I don't know. I think next year you guys could definitely, if you make some shakes up in the off season, you can definitely compete with the Eagles. I mean, you beat them in the regular season. That's how I see it. If you could beat somebody in the regular season, and the next few times you played them, it's a back and forth game, then you could beat them at any moment in time. In the playoffs, it's just about who wants it more. Yeah.
And this game should have been way more. This Commanders game today should have been way more competitive. And I get it. People like, hey, they're the better team. They're better across the board. Yeah. And we took the L, is what it is. It's how we lost. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury. What was that? Dan Quinn could have been better.
What that was.
I mean, like, Jaden could have been better. Jaden wasn't the reason we lost. Of course, he was probably still our best player on offense, probably him or Terry. By no means was he the reason we lost. Nah, he didn't do enough. That's what I mean by Terry could have been better. Jaden could have been better. Everybody could have been better today. Every single player.
Though. You got secondary, man. That secondary needs to get better in our secondary.
Defensive line, they let him sit pretty.
What I was
I'm gonna harp on that every time.
Yeah.
Like, you can't allow this man to have 30 damn seconds to throw the ball. He can look to his first read. He can go through his whole progression to go back to his first read to throw it to AJ Brown or throw it to whoever that first read is, whatever they discussed in the offseason, who is the first read in this play.
I'm gonna be
Like,
honest though. The AJ Brown's Goddard. So the thing with Jalen Hurts, like we just mentioned, the word of the statement or the phrase pre-snap read, like the success that Jalen Hurts has when it comes to when he actually throws the ball, bro. He constantly has a pre-snap read. He'll snap the ball. We already know who the ball's going to because he gets it out quick, and that's how he limits turnovers. Also, he lobs it up to AJ Brown or Goddard like 90% of the time, right? And it's either going to be a Moss catch or it's going to be a flag. Every time he lobs it up to a big time target, like a big player, it's probably going to be a flag. And I hate that because it kind of eliminates the defensive back's ability to compete. And it's like you have to have physicality when you're guarding a AJ Brown, a Goddard, a Dallas Goddard, and they just refs every time. And that's not why we lost. I'm just bringing that up.
I agree to an extent, but his offensive line does something for him that no offensive line does for any other quarterback that's been in this conference championship game. Like, that offensive line lets the nigga sit pretty. He goes through all his progressions, goes through the progression 2 or 3 times, and still ain't got the ball in his hand, and still nobody's like.
I get what you're saying, but you also have to acknowledge the fact that there were moments in this game where we got to Hurts and we missed opportunities. There was a play on, I think it was 3rd down or second down. Like you had like 6 players. You had a bunch of players around him, and you let him throw the ball away. We needed that sack, bro. We needed that sack. And surely enough, he throws the ball away. Next play, they get the first down just like that. Easy.
For Hurts and the Eagles, this team is just constructed greatly. They've hidden his weaknesses. I'm not calling myself a QB guy. I'm not, but I don't be wrong about the QB stuff. Other people that's played the game and has really coached the game, has coached the position, points out his flaws. That's something constant. One thing Philly does is hide his weaknesses a lot. Like, I think to beat a Philly, you have to have that team. Like, it is a team thing. Like, we know they're going to have the best offensive line in football. We know they're going to have the best running back. You also have to, like, defensive line-wise, like, the games are won through the fat boys. The trenches, the fat boys. Is won through them. That's why, like, as an all-season move, I really hope, and I believe AP will do this. The fan base may not like it. I don't give a damn what y'all want. Fuck y'all, respectfully. But I feel like he's come from that San Francisco tree where he understands that, yeah, we got to get a good defensive line. We got to get good up front before we start competing. They just didn't have the right quarterback or the right head coach to get him over the hump. San Fran should have 2 Super Bowls right now. They should be almost competing for a 3rd this year. Even though he was injured. I'm not blaming and saying they should, but, like, I'm saying that, you know, I think for us, we have to build inside out. We got to get some fat boys. We got to get some edge rushers. That's how we can compete. That's the way we have to compete. We also got to get some running backs that can hit the hole and that can just be a burst of speed. Hot take, Commanders fans. Hot take. I'd rather have a good defensive line and an offensive line than get receivers, because I believe if you give Jaden Daniels as much time as Hurts has, I'm pretty sure he can find Terry wide the fuck open. Sorry, Commanders fan. Get a good defensive line and a good offensive line and watch. We going to go into Philly. We might not even have to go into Philly. We probably going to go in Northwest Stadium. Had that joint rocking with a playoff game. But yeah, like, I just want us to develop the offensive and defensive line. I really need them to put some money into it. I need us to get a Josh Sweat from Philly, that edge rusher. Who's that? It's like an interior D line. I can't think of his name right now from Detroit. If we can pick him up, let's go pick him up. I really want us to invest there. Of course, I wanted to invest in the corners. If we could get a DJ Reed, that would be perfect.
You never run it
Just
back too.
put him alongside Lattimore and Sanderstill, Mikey. Yeah, just I think that's the fearful thing for me about Philly, that I can see Philly possibly beating Kansas City. I don't like to give them no credit, but I can see as a team, as an overall like roster construction, they are a better team than Kansas City. They just got two people that I believe in more than anybody. I don't think they can beat them.
I think the problem with Washington, you guys played really great. Not today. I'm just saying this year exceeded expectations, like you said. I just think the secondary, man, and just other parts of the defense just has to step up. Before the game started, I know I wasn't on the live Friday, but I said this was gonna happen. Not a blowout, but I was saying you can't be in a shootout with the Eagles. They're not the Bucks, and they're not the Lions. Yeah, you can't. At the end of the day, I mean, they say it for a reason. Defense wins championships. You can't be in like the best. You can't be in shootouts and expect to win. Your defense has to find a way to step up. You can't put the weight of the weight of the freaking world on Jaden Daniels every game. It's not how it works, because he's gonna get you. He's gonna put some points on the board, but when's the defense gonna make a stop and take some of that pressure off his shoulders? Same thing with the Bills. Same thing with the Ravens at times. Same thing with the Bengals. At some point, your defense is gonna have to step up and help you win those games. There's two sides to the football game. As much as the great quarterbacks make the great plays, and we love seeing these highlights and everything, all those things go to waste when the defense can't even win you the game or can't help you win the game. Jaden Daniels is doing his part. Now the defense has to step up. Josh Allen's doing his part. Now the defense has to step up. Joe Burrow's definitely doing his part. Now the defense has to step up. At the end of the day, those franchises and certain franchises in this league is gonna have to invest in defense, because the offense doesn't necessarily seem to be the problem. They can step up, obviously, and become better. Any offense could be better, but I don't
I
know,
don't
man.
know. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, but I'm telling you right now, when I was watching that game, I was thinking to myself, and I spoke to some family, during the game. We were talking at half on the phone, and it's like, I was like, look, if I'm JD5, I don't care about none of that big brother, older person than me stuff. I don't care about none of that. If I'm JD5, I'm calling out Bobby. I'm calling out you. I'm calling out you. I'm calling out you, because those guys, I'm gonna be honest. I called out Bobby in my recap video. You're a Super Bowl veteran. You've been here. You're a Super Bowl winning champion. You are that dude. And I know you're getting older, but like as a leader of that defense, to have them boys come out and play the way they did today, it was abysmal. It was hard to watch. I mean, from the opening snap for the Eagles, they dominated. Saquon took that joint all the way to the crib. I was like, it's going to be a long day. When he scored that, I was like, okay, Washington, we're going to have to respond. We're going to have to respond, because this could get ugly fast. And surely enough, it got ugly. It got real ugly, And I think JD5 is a very humble player, which is why I'm such a big fan of him. A lot of people, when I talk about Jaden, people be like, you're glazing because it's your quarterback. You're being biased. Even if Jaden wasn't my quarterback, or say in the future, I was telling my guy Jalen, I was telling him, like, hey, say Jaden Daniels leaves us in the future, right? I would still be a Jaden Daniels fan, because this guy is extremely humble. He puts his head down. He goes to work. Him and Terry, both of them, and I love that. And it just sucks to see them lose. And they gave their effort. They gave everything they had. And they're both very humble guys. They put in the work, and and just the way that we lost, it hurts. To who we lost to, division rival, you'd let them drop 55 when you're in your most important game since 1991. I don't want to hear, as a Washington fan, let's be quiet. Let's not say another word about Philly. We don't have anything else to say. They are big.
I'm gonna keep talking. I don't care. They can.
You can talk all you want, dog. I'm just being realistic. They own us at this point. They own us, bro.
I'm going to keep talking. I don't care. I'm going to rep it hard or I'm not gonna rep it at all. At the end of the day, they were the better team. They're the better organization. I don't know how many more accolades I gotta give to them. Only person I ain't gonna give flowers to. I'm gonna give flowers to him right now. I'm gonna give it to Hurts right now, but he ain't getting no more flowers with me. It is what it is with him and me. Until he does something spectacular, that then I start giving him credit.
Man, this game gonna go down as one of those historic games. You know how you watch NFL. Y'all watch NFL Throwback. This is gonna be one of them games 10 years from now on NFL Throwback that you just be like, how in the world did they drop 55 in the NFC Championship game? It's embarrassing, man. And Joe Witt Jr. should be ashamed of himself. I don't know how he got head coaching interviews because this guy is not a head coach. He's not a head coach. He's barely a DC. What are we talking about?
Cliff Kingsbury is not a head coach either.
Yeah,
Cliff Kingsbury is probably not a head coach either, but he's definitely closer to
being Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson got a job, and I don't think he's a head coach. I think he's an offensive coordinator. I don't think
Ben Johnson gonna get a rude awakening too, because in that division, bro, he gonna get a rude awakening real fast, bro.
I don't think Caleb is gonna develop as we think. I think Caleb is gonna be one of those quarterbacks that didn't have great coaches around him or a great organization. He's gonna have to. Yeah, the Bears, y'all be fine. I know nothing. Talk to me in 2 years when I'm right again, because I always am.
Some tough losses for both of our teams, but
oh my goodness,
I don't really know. I guess back to the drawing board for the offseason and hope to see each other in the Super Bowl next year, maybe. That's the dream, man. Bills Commanders Super Bowl. That's what America wants. That's what I wanted, but I don't know, man. But I'm gonna have to get up off here. Gotta get ready for school in the morning, man. Got an 8 a.m. tomorrow. Got an 8 a.m. tomorrow, man.
Got class at 10. Goddamn.
Back to class, man. It's that time, bro. But hey, man, appreciate y'all tuning in tonight, talking about the conference championship results. Kansas City Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. Philadelphia Eagles back to the Super Bowl. The rematch that no one wanted is back. And yeah, here we are. But you guys have any final words? How y'all feeling?
End of the day, you know who I'm rocking with. I'm forever rocking with 17. He gonna get us that bowl, bro. He gonna get us a bowl, bro. He gonna get us there.
I'm extremely proud of this team. 5 has turned me up all game, all season. HCCR, bring my team back to RFK so we can get that jump rocking again, host a playoff game, and then see Philly walk into DC and get their ass bust. Because it's gonna happen, Philly. Don't think just because shit's sweet right now, just you're gonna retain all of them players. How much I pay Jalen Hurts? How much I paid him? Okay. All right. I want all the smoke. Please come at me. Please come at me. I have nothing else but time on Twitter. I'm about to get back to this troll that's from Philly, but I have nothing but time. Thank you. My quarterback is still the best in the division. As I said, still the best in the conference. HCCR. And bring my team back to RFK. Go Mahomes.
With that being said, appreciate y'all watching. Like the stream up, share it. Follow to the 4th and Goal Sports Instagram. Without further ado, until next time, peace.